Hi, my friend. You're warmly welcome for today's session. Today, I am going to continue with our topic of electrolysis, and I'm going to deal with a description of an electrolytic cell. First of all, as you may see the diagram here, but let us first know what does it mean by the term electrolytic cell. What is an electrolytic cell? An electrolytic cell is a device in which electrolysis is carried out. So, a device or an instrument through which electrolysis process takes place is what we call electrolytic cell. Now, after knowing the definition of an electrolytic cell, let us see the components of an electrolytic cell. Here is the diagram showing an electrolytic cell. As you can see, in the electrolytic cell, it contains some parts. It has a battery, as you may see. We have connecting wires. We have one electrode known as cathode. We have another electrode known as anode, as you may see. We have also an electrolyte, as you may see. We have a trough. Now, are the components of an electrolytic cell. Now, after looking at these components of an electrolytic cell, let us see the function of each component. Here we see we have a battery. What is the function of a battery? A battery is made up of a given number of cells. The role of those cells is to provide the potential difference that drive the electrons. It drives the electrons through the connecting wires, as you may see, to the electrodes, and thereby the remaining part, the electrons are conducted by an electrolyte, as you may see. So the role of a battery to provide the potential difference. Also, we have connecting wire, as you may see. The role of this wire is to connect the electrodes, as you may see, with the battery. So the cells in the battery system here are connected to the electrodes by using connecting wires, as you may see. I think it is clear even to you. Also, let us see another part. Another part is cathode. Cathode, as I have told you, cathode is one of the two electrodes used. As you may see, we have two electrodes which are cathode and anode. The role of cathode, we say that cathode is the electrode through which electrons enter an electrolyte. As you may see, it is through cathode whereby the electrons from the battery system here, as they are from this direction, they move this way and they enter into an electrolyte through this cathode. Also, apart from cathode, we have another electrode which is known as anode. You may see it here, anode. We say anode is an electrode through which electrons leave an electrolyte. Now, you may see from anode here, it is where electrons leave an electrolyte as they are moving upward, as you may see, again towards the positive terminal of the battery. So, as I've told you that these are two electrodes, you have to remember, you have to put in mind that cathode is an electrode through which electrons enter an electrolyte, and it is connected to the negative terminal of the battery, while anode is an electrode through which electrons leave an electrolyte, and it is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. Another composition of an electrolytic cell, we must have electrolyte. Now, what is an electrolyte? As I defined it in the previous session, in the previous lesson, I said that an electrolyte is a substance which dissociates into its free ions when it is in a solution form or when it is in a molten state. Now, a good example of electrolyte we saw, it is like a common salt, sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is an example of electrolyte, as when it is dissolved in water, it is capable to dissociate into its free ions, which are sodium ions and chloride ions. Here we have another part, which is trough. Trough is just the container in which an electrolyte is formed. So the solution in which an electrolyte is within is contained in a container which we call a trough, as you may see. Now, these are the compositions of the composition of an electrolytic cell, as you may see. So I hope you have understood them well, and whenever you're asked to draw or to describe an electrolytic cell, you have to know this structure. So it has a battery, connecting wires, we have cathode, electrolyte, trough, and anode. Thank you for your attention. I welcome you in the next sessions. Have a nice moment.